live. Look at that. We are right on time. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, here we are.
Corey Dora says, sorry for making fun. Nothing to be sorry about. I kind of like that comment. Says, I was so excited to catch a live stream, but I haven't yet.
Yeah. True statement.
Now you have.
Yeah. Hello.
Shut up, Scotty. There is no land left. Well, I don't know.
Scotty.
I don't know. Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty don't know.
The Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday.
I literally just went out to the truck and switched eyeglasses and then tripped on my own shadow. Hi, Benjamin. Yeah, we all have those days. Nothing hurt but my pride. That's the most painful of things.
So, confession time. We forgot, for anybody who hasn't been to a stream lately, we've been doing like picking our 5 favorite fish out of this category.
Yeah.
And we've been getting y'all's input on what to do next week. And we forgot to do that last week. So, we kind of talked about a few things and we're like, let's just ad-lib a live stream. We'll do it again next week. So,
sorry.
For anyone who has ideas on what fish we should put head-to-head, drop them in the comments. We thought about doing like oddball fish, but
yeah, that's
where
a very
does it
broad
end?
range.
Because I would do like angler fish, even though they're not freshwater.
No, I know. There's a lot of, but see, that's.
I mean, obviously we have to keep it freshwater because we're a freshwater.
I
channel,
feel like
but
oddballs are puffers, loaches, gobies, like that kind of stuff, like rope fish, bichers.
Well, if we do an oddball,
You know,
I'm taking hairy puffers.
that's reasonable. I do love a hairy puffer, but that's fine.
Yeah, she does. Ooh, hey.
Jeez Louise.
I got jokes.
Yeah, he does.
They may not be good, but I got them.
He's got them all day.
What has been done in the
Caitlin?
past? So we've only done it twice, actually.
Yeah.
Last week was dwarf cichlid. And the way it is, we each pick 5 fish. So last week we did dwarf cichlids. And by a popular vote and a tiebreaker, I won last week. And then...
No, you did.
Yes, it was 50-50.
No, you didn't.
And then you conceded because you're like, ties are stupid. You can just win this
concede.
week.
I could have said something, but I just didn't care. So.
Yeah, so I won by default.
In his brain, he did.
We already went over this. I won by default.
I didn't go over any of that. I don't recall that at all.
Hey.
Wow.
Let's just move past it. Stop living in the past. Look towards the future.
I tell you what.
And then the week before that, we did nano fish, which I got destroyed on, even though my fish were better.
He's so
But
humble, too.
ooh, catfish would be fun.
Catfish would be good.
We could do okay.
Yeah.
Let's do catfish.
Okay.
Now, are we excluding plecos and cories, or are we going to include them?
I was gonna include them because I feel like it narrows it down too much if you. The people aren't aware of that many types of catfish.
Well, that's why this brings awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do, right? We bring awareness to fish that other channels don't mention because they don't get views.
So wait, okay, hold on. So are we doing it right now or next week?
No, next week because we got to prep.
I need to remember my idea here before I forget. So.
What if you did big cichlids, anything that gets 8 inches or more?
See, here's my
So
thing.
none of us. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I am a big fan, and I've said it many times. Like I had medium to large cichlids. So my cichlids generally range from 4 to 12 inches, 11, 12 inches. My largest was a chocolate cichlid who was 11 inches. I do love a larger fish like that, but that is the max. Like I would never get anything larger than a foot. Like a true parrot would be like the largest fish I'd probably ever try and have personally. So that might limit us, and he's kind of
it doesn't have to be fish we've kept because I love the Haitiensis cichlid. And I've never kept one.
I also like Nicaraguans, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, we can do them. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah,
Who's got the notepad?
That's true. I mean, yeah. It wouldn't be anything crazy big, but yeah.
You don't even really like plecos, so we could just exclude plecos.
I don't dislike plecos. I don't focus enough on them to know enough, and you know how I am. If I don't know enough about something, I just don't feel comfortable commenting on it. That's the thing.
Because I mean, the only pleco that I would put on the list would be the Sultan pleco. I was looking at our L397 the other day, and I was like,
the Allen Kerrs are my favorite.
I kind of miss having those.
But that's my favorite.
The Sultans are always going to be my favorite.
I still like the zebra pleco.
The 397s were my favorite for years.
Yeah, those have been my favorite. I just really love the orange. I think that's what does it for me. Honestly.
Yeah, maybe we bring it down to 6 inches instead of 8.
That's easy. I could do that all day. I've got a lot in that category.
You could do 6 inches all day? Okay.
I've got a lot in that category that I could expound upon. So.
Do medium cichlids for a planted 75. That might be a little too narrow.
Yeah, good luck with that. Because all of my cichlids, even the ones that didn't necessarily eat plants, rearranged plants. Like they never left anything alone.
I'm calling shotgun on Tatia woodcat.
Okay.
The black one with the white spots
All
looks
right.
like orca whales.
I have a bumblebee cat. That's what
Those are nice too.
I love. Yeah, upside down cats I'm a fan of too. So I don't know.
See,
There's I've got several that are in my
yeah.
brain.
Let's leave out plecos and cories because I
Okay.
figured both of those are like large enough.
That's fine.
That we could.
I can think of
that we
enough.
could do that.
Yeah, catfish wise. Catfish are really underrated. The catfish people out there are big into it, and I respect that. But there's not enough.
Our
Very
catfish
underrated.
video did better than I thought it
Yeah,
would.
I remember that, and it's because I think people who love them really love them, and with good reason. They're amazing fish. So.
Also, for anyone watching now or watching the replay, you can comment now, but I'm going to forget. So if you actually comment on the video like after it uploads, we are going to the wet spot this weekend. So if there's anything particularly you would like to see, we can like post it. So let's say you're thinking like, I'm going to buy Mabu Pleco. Can you show me the Mabu Plecos? And yeah, we can upload like a 30-second short on Instagram or something.
It's so easy to do stuff like that if we know what we're looking for. Plus, like I said in the last stream, I love looking for things. If you're specific on something, I love looking for it because I'm always taking B-roll.
Oh, good one, Steven. We got to leave out loaches too. I feel like loaches can be their own category.
Oh yeah, loaches. I wouldn't include loaches in that at all.
Corey Denoradine win. I agree.
There is a lot now that I'm thinking about it. There's a lot there.
After a couple years out of the hobby, I drove to 4 different fish stores. I'm just jealous you have 4. We got none.
I used to have 4.
In Houston, LOL, I'm so back, and you guys helped me with that.
I'm
so
glad.
thank you.
I love that. If there's anything I want to hear, it's that I've gotten somebody hooked back on animals or fish or reptiles, whatever it is. I don't care. It's such a great thing to do.
Do you know if the wet spot gets fish from Aquarium Glasser? I'm pretty sure, but I'm not going to say 100% that the answer is no.
I feel like I've heard them say.
I think I asked them that before, and they said no, they're too expensive. But I don't want to speak for them.
I know it can be. I mean, getting stuff from Europe is, it's not cheap to ship that. So I don't know. When you can get it other places a lot of the time.
Pick something silly for today, like top 3 nano species. Well, nanos was the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one we did. I was trying to think of something like less. I don't know. There's just not. Cichlids is too hard. Like I thought, cichlid, but there's so many. Like, what are the parameters on that? Like,
plus, I don't like pulling up stuff on the internet like ad lib because
it can take too much time.
Well, that and you never know what can pop up.
Oh,
so
jeez, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna Google the wet spot on a live stream.
God, I miss being able to drive around in a day to 4 fish stores. I used to do that every weekend. That was nice because we had 4, so I just hit the greater Sacramento area and go to all of them. It's very enjoyable.
Just go platy varieties.
I won't. You lost me there. I'm not that into.
None
platies.
of us are platy people or swordtail people.
No swordtails, no platies, no guppies. No, I just don't. That's not my thing.
Although that being said, I'm looking for endlers.
I thought about gobies. That was one I was gonna say if we could do gobies or loaches, but
I feel like how do we do that?
It's
though?
hard. It's tough. You'd have to kind of
like,
just.
Bottom dwellers, that's too vague.
That's
Although
too
bottom dwellers is very good for the algorithm. Like every live stream that I've put top dweller in has gotten lots of views comparatively to regular.
I feel
live
like
streams.
it's incredibly helpful to know those things, and I've said this in multiple videos now, where the top column, like the water column, the top is rarely filled out, and I think it helps people to get advice on these things because it's like, what do I use to fill that one?
Ooh, inverts
open
would be
spot.
a good one.
God.
I will say I do love a good teacup platy, and that's because I don't know, they're just dwarf and small and a little.
I actually did almost buy
cutie
I almost bought
patooties.
sailfin platies once because I really just
Self-in platies.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a new one for me.
I almost got them one time and then I didn't. They were at my local fish store and I was like,
Loaches can definitely be their own.
Yeah, loach. I was gonna say you could do like gobies and loaches can be separate because there's enough in each to cover many lists. I mean, those are 2 of my favorite. Honestly.
Bucket list fish, stuff that is very hard to find. I can listen to Bob talk about Bonita chromis, which I think the wet spot might actually have.
I thought I saw that they had not long ago. If they did, I mean, I know I saw Bonita chromis on there at some point.
I know we were
Killifish.
told that they were getting some. Now whether they showed up in the shipment or not, I don't know.
Oh, You can
But
always
they
hope.
also ship terrible, so it could be like they might be in quarantine or something. I don't know.
Killifish, I mean, you could do killies, yeah. For me, bettas, wild bettas. We could do wild bettas. That's a good category. I feel like there's enough. I don't know.
Are there even 10 of them that are like available?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now especially, I've kept like 6, and there's plenty I haven't kept. So.
When you go this weekend, please film the Whitesman Eye, which I've already seen. Those look good, and the Fantastic Congos. I wonder how big they are this time.
Fantastiques?
Mm-hmm.
They look like trash when they're small, so just remember it.
They don't look like trash. They're just silver.
That's what I mean. They look like trash. When I say they look like trash, it means they have no color. Because people will look at that and go, why am I paying $40 for this? Why? Just you wait. It's going to be worth it.
I've been loving seeing black tiger batis in stock on a lot of the online sites. They were so hard to find for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue batis, I would like to see those more as well.
Mm-hmm.
You never see the blue ones.
I love just popping into my LFS, but sadly now he's done, retired, and gone. All I have now is Petco. Yeah, see, we had at one point we had 5, 6. There was at one point in the heyday, like 10, 15 years ago, we had 6, and then it was down to 4 in the last few years.
At one point I had 1.
It's better than now.
I know.
I mean,
I missed that store.
We have Moonlight, which isn't too far, which is nice because he's got great stuff.
It's far enough that it's not local.
It's not easy. It takes you 20 minutes to get there.
Well, it takes us like 30. May take you 20.
It takes me like 15.
But the problem is that you only get like a half hour there, and then you got to go, or you're gonna get stuck in like 3 hours of traffic.
That is true. See, for me, I moved about freely in the Sacramento area, and they were all the fish stores. There was 3 in downtown South Sac, and then there was 3 on the outskirts where it did require some driving, but it's easy driving. So.
You know what I would like to get is some tiger endlers. Any variation of a tiger endlers.
I will say I do think.
I think I just chose. I'm either gonna go lime green or tiger. So who has tiger? I think.
Yeah, those are nice.
I think my original tigers came from Lucas. I should see.
That would probably be a good place to get them.
Maybe if he has some.
Just ordered some fish off Blue Chip, and they have Bonita chromis, albeit wild. Yeah, that can go either way.
Does anyone think Chelsea is starting to glow and it's not Bob's shirt? It's not the Aurora Borealis?
I was going to say, it's not like radiating over to me. I always wondered if that was a true thing. Like, do people like...
Yes, the Aurora Borealis is real. I've seen it. Remember you slept through it.
Yeah, you didn't wake me up.
I did wake you up.
He keeps saying he did, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I was like, you can see the Aurora Borealis. Do you want to get up? He's like,
fake news.
To be fair, you said, I'll be out there in a minute, and then...
Did I?
Never came out.
I don't think that's
you
true.
said, give me a minute.
I don't think that's true.
You literally say that every time I wake you up, and then you go back to sleep. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
I don't say that.
I'm like, it's 3 o'clock. We got to stream soon. Give me a minute.
Shut up. God, I don't take naps. Jeez. South Sac, Bob didn't make a joke. I mean, if you knew South Sac, you wouldn't make jokes. Like, it's not a pretty place.
How about making it an overnight trip and stay over?
Where? Oh, at the wet spot?
Or Moonlight.
Oh, Moonlight? No, it's not that far. It'd be silly, I feel like, to do that. It's one of those things where if we were going to do it, we would stay all day. You know what I mean? Like, have something to do all day long in that area and leave at like 6 or 7. That would probably be...
Jenna says, we got rid of our tiger endlers last year.
Oh.
Anybody keep Santa Maria endlers? Yes, I have. And that's another video. So the other day I was thinking I wanted endlers, so I went through some of my old footage, and I had Santa Maria endlers, and they really reminded me of the 80s because their colors are like in big blocks.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And they're like red and black and green. I had some for a while. I think... Where did I think I got those from a wholesaler of all places, and they look great.
I was gonna say I feel like that can go well with those type of fish with wholesalers.
Does anyone have an LFS they love in Boise?
I am
Idaho.
Yeah, I don't know.
Idaho.
Jesus, good one.
Years ago, I would have loved to have owned a pet store, but I've heard far too many horror stories, and I know nothing about running a business.
It's not an easy business.
So that is the problem. The people that own or the start fish stores are hobbyists. They're not businesses, so of course they go down.
Yeah.
And like we're seeing the death of a lot of LFSs because none of them are embracing social media.
Which is whack.
Like it's whack, yo.
I'm done. We're done with this stream. All right, 527.
It's crazy.
Is dead.
Like honestly, like the last one I looked up when someone in a stream mentioned it was closing, I looked them up. They had like 1 or 2 posts from like 5 years ago on Instagram. And it's like, you should be posting there every day.
It's free advertising. Like, that I'll never understand. Even working in the line of work I did, we still marketed, and it's free. It is literally, in most cases, unless you're promoting things, which is still, you're making money most of the time. So what does it matter?
Fish Tank Martin says, I found some volcano endlers earlier this year, and I'm really enjoying them.
Cool. Yeah, South Sac's not pretty. I'll tell you that much.
Chelsea, have you been to any of the San Diego fish stores? I have. There are
not.
some amazing ones. I've
purchased from them, but I have not been there.
I went in the 90s, so
No, that doesn't count.
doesn't.
There's
Erroneous.
It's what is it? Aquarium, Aqua Depot. I think I bought fish from Aqua Depot in San Diego, and I was pleased. I don't remember. God, I can't remember. I just know that I was happy.
It's wiggity, 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 whack.
It is wiggity, wiggity, whack.
Sad to see redfish, bluefish go. Yeah, that's an interesting story. I'd be curious to see what happened there, but it's none of my business, so it doesn't matter. But the email that said we are too successful, so we have to close.
I was a little thrown off.
Didn't really ring true to me. Like, who closes because they're too successful?
Yeah, I'm a little sus on that, but
I just I hope he's okay and everything's well for him
sure.
and his family.
No negative, but I just feel like that's a little odd, but whatever. Hey.
Joy says, I love Jinja Rubra endlers. You're the second one.
Yeah. Ginga, isn't that?
I don't know. What did I say?
Rubra?
Ginger?
No, but I thought it was Jinja, no.
Jinja sounds more gangsta.
Does it? Because I don't know about
I don't know. That's whack.
I don't know about that.
That's whack.
That is whack.
PlayStation's whack, yo.
Well, it's better than Xbox. Like,
Friends, hello. When Joey is just trying to act like he's 19.
Is that a late season?
I don't know, but he's trying to audition.
If PlayStation's out, it's after the year 2000, and I don't care anymore.
PlayStation came out in the 90s, just saying.
I thought it was 99 or 2000.
Oh, no, it was like the first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, it was like 96.
Really? Now I have to know. I can't handle it.
I just made that up. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe you.
But now I'm curious, too.
Okay.
2000? No, that's not right.
The original PlayStation was released in Japan in 94 and worldwide 95. I'm sorry. The one that I'm thinking of was PlayStation 2 came out in 2000 because I remember.
That's my I'm right.
I remember we got one in
nailed it
2000, so that's what we got was a PlayStation 2. Okay, that makes sense. Good job.
1995. I remember being in Sears. That's why I remember being like around that time.
Put on your Sunday best, kids. We're going to Sears. Xboxes. Well, here's the thing.
Take that back, or we can't be. PlayStation is far superior than
I'm sorry to say it, but
to be fair, I don't like either of them. But
when it had Halo exclusively, yeah, I liked Halo, but PlayStation's better.
I still have a PS2 somewhere in a box.
I had a Sega Genesis that I loved dearly.
Me too.
I loved my Sega.
And then like 6 years after it came out, I got a Sega CD.
Oh, Sega Saturn.
No, CD.
Isn't Saturn the CD one?
No, Saturn is its own brand. There's a Saturn console.
Just check this out.
It's Sega CD. Look it up.
I
it
believe
attaches
you, but
to the side of it.
I'm trying to think of what the Sega Saturn was because.
I'm gonna do my right dance again.
There it is. No.
I'm right.
Okay.
I'm right.
Not like losing my mind. That's the thing. Sega Saturn. 95. See, this is what I'm thinking of. Is that?
Oh no, it's
okay. Oh, it's different. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It literally attaches to the regular.
Oh. Okay. You put it on top.
Well, mine slid on the side.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I just knew that my uncle.
But anyways,
made fun
is
of me for not getting a Saturn.
Fish channel or a PlayStation channel?
I don't know.
I tried to burn my grandparents' house down accidentally with my Sega Genesis with a faulty wire.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. I remember unplugging it and it was so hot. Like I'd unplug it and I was like, oh god, dang, that's not good. Because I'd play for hours and hours. My mom scream at me. My friend had an Atari.
In the Kansas City area, there are a few really great ones and a few okay ones and quite a few I don't go to.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of options, though. We don't even have that. I mean, we didn't have that many options. Commodore 64. Frogger. I loved playing Atari at my friend's house. That was
Atari
fun.
2600.
That was a fun one. My stepdad had Asteroid on. It was an actual arcade game. He had it, and I loved playing Asteroid.
Aquatic Moose says, hello, fish and reptile friends and birds. Are reptiles too, right?
Word. Yep. Dinosaurs. Nintendo 64. Yep. Mario Kart. Many a Mario Kart sesh on Nintendo 64. Good times.
Switch 2 is scheduled for next year. I've never even touched a Switch. I know nothing
Yeah,
about
I've
it.
never ever tried a Switch before, and like everyone I know has one. So
But anyways, let's talk fish as I yell into your ear.
yeah, that was loud.
It's too early in the stream to be getting sidetracked here.
I knew if we didn't have a topic, it was gonna go south quickly. Like I figured that would happen. Golden eye, yeah, that was good. Echo the dolphin. I can think of all kinds of birds are not real. What are we saying? There aren't a lot of fish stores in the Puget Sound. I can think of 5 off the top of my head. Ghosts and goblins.
Wait, what was that?
He said, "What are we saying? What are we saying? There aren't a lot of fish stores in Puget Sound."
Yeah, but
I
we're
can
not
think
close
of
to
5.
Puget Sound, so it's not local to us. Like,
I think and to be fair, his idea of local is much more local than mine. Like, I'm willing to drive like 10, 15 miles. Like, that to me is still local because it took me actually, like, it was a real, like, 15, 20 minutes. Here, if you drive 10 miles, it's going to take you 45 minutes. It's crazy.
people here don't know how to drive.
No,
they all drive 20 miles below the speed
Everybody
limit.
talks about California, and I get so mad because I'm like, no, Washington drivers are way worse than California drivers. So
Aquatic Moose says, been getting into tetras recently. Have 12 glow light tetras, 7 ember tetras, and 7 black neons in my 40
that's
breeders
nice.
so far.
I like it.
Probably need more embers. Embers don't get a lot of love these days. They used to be really popular.
Yeah, they did. I feel like, well, they're an inexpensive fish, which is nice because the color payoff's pretty good for the small price. You could really get into some tetras, my friend. That's a deep, deep dive. There are some really sweet tetras out there. Have I had a parrot? Yes, I've had parrots.
Looking for bottom dweller ideas for threadfin and celebes rainbows.
Oh,
I would go like dwarf
That's fun.
quarries.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Either the habrosis,
Ooh,
the
habrosis.
hastatus, the pygmaeus.
I love habrosis.
You could look at aspidoras. That's what I would do.
I love habrosis. I think they're my favorite small cory.
You could also do like neon blue goby. There's a lot of gobies that are smaller that would do well.
Rainbow stiphodons. Great. You live on the peninsula? Yeah, that's probably takes a long time to get anywhere then, huh? So yeah, that's the thing is if you can drive to it and it doesn't take all day long, then yeah, it's local-ish. I get it.
Tetras are great. Speaking of tetras, our latest newsletter that we released yesterday was all about tetras.
Yes, it was.
If you're not signed up for the newsletter, I promise you it's not just this giant sales pitch,
No,
although we are a business. We do try to make some money here.
Small sales pitches, but not giant ones.
But we do like fun facts on a specific fish. Then we pick some of our favorite fish that are available to buy. And I don't know. It's something that I would read if I was to get it. So
I said that's why we did it is because I think we both were like, I'd like to know of good deals on really cool fish that aren't just your bread and butter fish that you see every day.
We also have like deals of the week. So like bug bites is like 60% off on Amazon. So we let you know about that. And all you have to do is go to that website, put in your email. You're not going to get spammed. It's just we're not going to sell it. Just one email every Sunday.
It'll be all right. I
Check it out.
promise.
Stephen P says, I received the newsletter. A lot of people actually open it. Like the open rate is very high.
Yeah, surprisingly, because normally
They're probably like,
what? Is this crap?
I signed up for this 6 years ago. I'm just getting one.
Just now getting around to it, huh? Slow and smooth.
And I do have Corey to thank for that. He got me kind of turned on to like every time I've heard newsletters, I'm like, ugh, I hate newsletters.
Yeah.
It's just spam. But I'm actually enjoying it. It's something different
Arlo,
and it's fun.
Go. I feel so bad.
Oh yeah, and we also did a Tetra video this weekend. Thank you, Curtis. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Speaking of Tetras.
Yeah. So check out the Tetra video. We actually have
Tetras.
lots of Tetra videos on the channel. So
Tetras were so not a favorite of mine for many years, and then with the recent Tetras that have been coming out, it's reignited my passion for Tetras. So it's pretty cool.
Once you, and I'm not saying that you were this way, but once you get out of like the Petco and PetSmart realm of Tetras and you open like, there's like 100 other species that are available.
I say to start out with, I think my best advice to people trying to branch out on Tetras is just look up the Hyphesibrycons. Like that alone should get you excited. I mean, there's obviously many different types of Tetra, but I think Hyphesibrycon's my favorite. Like that, there's so many beautiful fish within that family. So, Embers, Glowlights, Kochu, Harlequin, and of course, a non-Tetra. That's a good. Hey, A nice mix of tetras is always fun too, to have different types together, because in nature they live together, many of them. It's nice to have that, as long as they're in good sized schools or they have good amount of other conspecifics.
Totally
We'll
Bob,
eat
tetras
them.
are big when you start, and then again when your taste mature.
Finding a good source for healthy tetras is important. Yeah, that is a very well said. Well said, because that can be very disappointing when you spend a decent amount of money on a school of tetras and they just all die slowly.
So Kenny says, I think I'd rather do another tank of dwarf cichlids than tetras. I'm assuming than tetras, but why can't you have both?
Yeah, I would have both. I always have them together.
I could never have just one or the other.
No.
Like you have your dwarf cichlids down here, and you have your tetras schooling around up here.
I have to have tetra with my. Plus, I feel like it really does help dither-wise, like for a lot of the dwarfs to feel more confident with fish swimming around overhead.
Sen Ginger says, I like the banded darter tetras, but I'm not even sure they're real tetras. For now, they are. I'm sure if more work was done, I read a study somewhere some time ago that said there was they said that there could be over 100 different species of darter tetras, which, if that was true, I feel like they would probably get their own classification.
Yeah, at that point, they'd have to. That's ridiculous if there's that.
I don't know if that's true. That was just, I was looking at Google Scholar. Google. And if you don't use Google Scholar, I highly recommend it. You can find out a lot of stuff. And as much as I hate Google, I got to say, I use Google Scholar a lot. You can always find really interesting tidbits on fish.
It's safe to say that with most types of fish, there are so many untapped resources as far as finding other fish that aren't at Petco. You really just have to look outside the box. There's so many options, so many, especially for tetra.
Amy says, I love my black neon tetras. Underrated. I feel like every tetra is underrated, except for a neon tetra.
Cardinal tetra.
And don't get me wrong,
there's a time and a place.
Neon tetras are very important to the hobby. I will never forget walking into my first fish store and seeing neon tetras and losing my mind, thinking I have to get those.
They're a catalyst fish. They get you in there.
But there's so much more.
But I just can't get. They do nothing for me anymore. So.
Cheryl says, I have marble hatchetfish with my Epistogramma trifasciata. The epistos are always out now.
Ooh, good
Speaking
combo.
of that,
that's a nice combo.
Kenny, did you ever get your marble hatchets?
They're so cute.
You can read, huh?
Said in Draco voice. That's funny. Harry Potter reference. Well, species only tank of exodons would be pretty awesome. I would have to agree with that.
That would have to be a pretty big tank.
I do like exodons. I just, again, think that they shouldn't really be available because people don't know how to keep them and don't understand that they need a species only tank or you're going to have a bad time. So.
You know what I wouldn't mind doing, but you wouldn't do, is Danios.
I don't like Danios.
Royal Hill Trouts?
Oh, I would do those. No, I would do those.
The orange hatchet
That
Danios?
fine. Okay, fine. Those, when you say Danios, I think basic
pearl Danios.
Yeah, I don't want any of that crap. No,
glow light Danios? Are you kidding me? They're freaking beautiful.
Okay, I know. There are exceptions within
Okay, I just picked my 5, so that's over.
The movement of the Danios is what kind of gets me. I don't like spastic movers who are fast and don't know what they're doing, and it can be annoying.
So Aquatic Moose has a question that's kind of unanswerable. It says, how many Ember glow light black neon tetras are too many in a 40 breeder? And so, glow lights and black neons get significantly bigger than embers.
I was wondering how that would go with your embers in there with them. They're all right.
It would be... I mean, my standard answer would be I don't know, a dozen of each.
Yeah. I wouldn't do more than that.
I would just I would start with smaller schools of each and then increase them as they kind of find their area in the aquarium and the embers are schooling around over here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe you could get a little more of those. I would definitely say you could do more embers than the other ones though, just because they're
smaller.
Or they are significantly smaller.
Yeah, Royal Hill Trouts are great.
Hope we're getting a new species like we have had with
Yeah,
tetras.
that would be cool, right? For other species to do that. Because the tetras have been mass releasing. There's just been so many different types coming out. I learn about all my tetra info from Below Water, from Oliver Lucanis, because he's always got the hot takes on the new tetras. So you should watch his channel and see all about those guys. He has a good amount of knowledge about all these new tetras. It's nice. I failed at breeding my red cherry mazzuls, but I figured out that I only have one female out of my 10. Oh, wow. Yeah, out of 10. Just try and pair, possibly reverse trio. That sucks. 1 out of 10. Wow. What are the odds? All hanging together so far. That's good. Yeah.
The reasons I don't do Danios or rainbows, I like to keep my tanks chill.
Yeah, that's... I feel like I'm fast forwarding a VHS when I'm watching
Danios are definitely, but not all of them. Again, like glow lights behave like Tetras.
They're significantly better. That's true. And it's the same thing with barbs. Like barbs are usually, I don't like the aggressive movements. I don't like how quick they are. But then we have like the banded barbs and the dwarf gold barbs, and those guys are just a dream. Like I absolutely love them, and they move so nicely, and they're just calm, and it's great.
The wife decided bills are more important than fish.
Son of a beast.
Luckily, I don't have that problem.
I am no help.
I have the opposite problem.
I am no help in any category.
You got more
like
fish?
that.
We got bills to pay.
I bring pikes home unannounced. Like
I know. I'm like, what is in this tank? What is
like,
this?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
we have a belly crawler now.
You moved all my Corys out for this thing? Thanks.
She's a good gal. She needed.
I do really like her now.
She's
though.
very cool.
She comes to the front of the tank and
says
hi.
Yeah, she's very active. That's why I love pikes. They just have great personalities. They're the best.
Ross, I hope you have better luck with the raccoon tetras. I really enjoy those.
Yeah, those are cool. People don't keep those very often. I feel like those are good ones.
Anyone know anything about those true freshwater
morays?
Eels? Or are you specifically talking about the morays?
Yeah,
or?
there's true freshwater eels. There's just I don't know about the morays. I'm still on the fence. Even though
if you're
so
talking
many
about the
people...
I have yet to see someone who's been like, I've had mine for 5 years.
I've never known someone personally who said I have kept this fish successfully in freshwater for X amount of time. So
it's like the dragon gobies that they say are freshwater.
Which die every time. I've
sure
tried.
They live for like a year.
Yeah, and then they die. It's sad. It's very depressing.
Although if they came up again, I would set up a brackish just for dragon gobies because
dragon gobies are freaking
they're
sweet.
so prehistoric.
I've kept them before and they are very cool. The morays. I think we both feel the same about that. Like it's the jury's still out there.
For how much they are, I'm not willing to gamble.
I will say that they're very enjoyable.
They're very cool.
They're super cool. They're very personable. Most of the ones we've seen in person have come right up to the front and they just want to see you and I'm sure be fed. But they're very cool. I feel like I would be willing to, if I was committing to that, setting up a brackish tank wouldn't be that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Just for posterity's sake to make sure they're doing well. Or the blennies he got. Yeah, those blennies were not, I'm not convinced those blennies were, he doesn't believe you.
I say, go away, go away. He just stands there and I say, okay, come here. And then he goes away.
He knows what you're doing. I know your tricks, Dewey. My LFS owners have had their money in freshwater for 2 years. I will keep you updated. That's cool. I was sold figure 8 puffers as freshwater. That, my friend Nancy, that is one of the most enraging conversations I've ever had with some random person at a fish store because they'd always overhear me talking to the employees, and the employees used to ask me a lot of questions about stuff, and so they'd inevitably ask me questions, these random people shopping, and one guy was like, yeah, I've got about 4 of these figure 8 puffers, and they just keep dying, and I immediately asked, like, are you keeping them in fresh water? And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, well, they're brackish, they need brackish water, and he literally just like, he's like, yeah, I might try them again, I don't know. I'm like, you're just gonna keep killing them. Great. Fantastic. You're not going to listen to anything I just said.
Mudskippers were worth the brackish setup.
Yeah, I tried that. I did. Unfortunately, I had the African. I really wanted the Indian. They didn't have them, though. They only had African.
Kenny says, I want to set up a salt tank just to bring home a lobster from the grocery store.
God.
Going to get like 8 million views
I was going to say, if you
it.
put that on YouTube, it doesn't matter if your channel had 1 subscriber, you're getting 5 million views on that. Every I saved a lobster video is crazy.
So Crazy Shot says, GDI... A week after I decided to buy orange Venezuelans, the wet spot has Barbados in. That's just not right.
It's the way
I will say I can't tell you how many times I have not bought a fish because I'm like, I'm going to wait till they see what they have next week. And I always just end up waiting. And if I would have bought the fish,
it's enraging.
I would have got them. But that's unfortunately just
it's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
It happens. I'll set up another saltwater tank for a pair of snowflake clowns and cleaner shrimp. Super simple. I love the inverts. That's what I love. Saltwater inverts. I love blennies. I love gobies. I love cowfish. All that kind of stuff. But I still feel like if I was gonna do saltwater, I wouldn't want a huge tank. I'd want it to be small, and I'd want to keep like a couple shrimp or something, maybe like a blenny. But I wouldn't want to do a big saltwater tank.
I just love a good old fashioned. What's the Bangai cardinal fish?
Cardinal fish are pretty. Do mudskippers need heat? Yes. They do. They need a lot, actually. They don't need a lot, but they need what they need is specific, I guess I should say. So you have to be very careful to give them exactly what they need. They're not, I wouldn't say they're difficult. They're specific, and you have to really adhere to what they require, or they won't thrive. And the Africans don't like each other. So, like, remember that. If you want a communal group of mudskippers, you get the Indian dwarfs. If cowfish stayed the size they are in the fish store, they would be really... Yeah, I agree with that. See, that's what I'm saying is I'm not willing to get I wouldn't want to commit to a big enough tank that a cowfish could live in. But I love them. I think they're super cool.
There's a lot of really, like the decorator crab. That thing is... I love those. Everything about saltwater that I like is always the cheap stuff.
That's not a bad thing, because that's where, like, when people say saltwater is more expensive, I do agree, because when you start getting into live rock coral, there's, $2,000 pieces of coral. Like, it can get really expensive really quickly. So even though I think the actual setup and upkeep is probably about the same as freshwater, the things you can buy, the livestock is just insane. I had Indonesian graceful slender mudskippers, the Periophthalmus gracilis, and they're much less aggressive, and I was able to keep 4. Yeah, that's what I hear, is that because I only had experience with the African, and I only kept 1 as a result. Seriously thought about this. LOI, even acclimate mollies to salt, so I have some movement and color in the tank.
There you go.
There's stuff like that I feel like you can try things out yourself to see if they do what, you know what I mean? See what works best for them. If you're willing to do stuff like that, I think that's great, because you can really find that sweet spot that they thrive in.
I think the best classroom fish would be archer fish.
Oh, that's cool.
Just to see them spit on all the kids.
Clouded archer, yeah, that'd be really cool. I kept clouded archer. They're very cool fish.
Spit on everyone.
They are definitely waiting and ready at any time to try and get food. It's pretty funny. I think that mudskippers need more attention than being in a class. Like, you need to keep them at your home. You know what I mean? Like, they actually do. They're sensitive in ways that you want to have your eyes on them as much as possible. But if you're at work a lot, I don't know, All right.
That's like my dream paludarium is reptiles with archer fish.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've said this before, but the only episode acceptable, and it's not even acceptable, but like the best episode of Tanked was when they did for Teller, I don't know, the big guy. They did a clouded archer tank, and then he had a bunch of they put reptiles in there. It was all wrong. Nothing that was in there was right. It was all wrong. But
and they had brackish water.
In theory, it would be cool to do that the right way, because the clouded archers can shoot, you put crickets in there for the lizards.
I bet you everything in that thing is dead.
Oh, for sure. I don't even think it lasted 6 months, I'm sure. I don't think anything on that show lasts much longer than that, unless you have somebody...
No, that's why they get sued all the time.
Oh, I'm going to sue you. You are so sued. Watching the little Muppets hopping across the beach. They are little Muppets. They do. It's so funny. They do look like Muppets. Absolutely. Those eyes are Muppet-esque. That's funny. Love the interaction. Yeah, they're very intriguing. They're very different. They're like in a class of their own for sure. That's an oddball. Like, there's a true oddball as a mudskipper.
Let's keep a dove eye in the tank and invite the Cheeto finger kids to dip their hands in.
Something I will say, that a larger fish, maybe like a 75-gallon tank with a I don't even like flower horn, like, because they're so interactive. Like, I think kids really like that. I don't know what age we're talking necessarily, but I think that one large fish with a lot of personality, if you have the right size tank, would be enjoyable for a classroom. I
feel like kids, like Jenna here, she says, I keep endlers, cherry shrimp, and ram's horns in my classroom tank.
That's a fun tank.
Because I think kids love seeing anything.
That's true. I think small kids might I'm thinking of like teenagers. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to my head, but like an interactive fish. I just think of when I went to Capitol Aquarium and they had the gourami, the kissing gourami, and Moby Dick. It was so cool always to have that fish pay so much attention to you. It's very cool. When the power went out oh no. Yeah, that's not good. You never want power to go out in those situations, especially in a place where you're not spending as much time. It is hard to find mudskippers. They're not the easiest to come across.
Kaylin says, I think I'll end up taking my rice fish to school when I have a classroom.
That's a good one.
There's no teaching jobs here this year with all the budget cuts, so doing another year as a para.
Anyone else get humbled and mind blown to realize all sorts of people have your fish invertebrates in their aquariums?
We're just very specific.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
on things that we breed and raise up, we don't want them to go to just some random people.
I have a real issue with, like, I'm even a little nervous. I'm not nervous. The wet spot, I feel like the people that shop at the wet spot are overall good fish keepers. Like, you've sought out a good establishment to purchase from. I feel like that's a good start. It even makes me a little nervous taking our fish there, just because I'm so, like, it makes me so sad to think of them not being taken care of. And they're hardy fish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't even have super sensitive fish right now that we've spawned, but ugh.
Or Drachenfelsi.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably the most.
Not super sensitive, just
no,
harder
it's just
to spawn.
harder to spawn. Yeah, I'm still surprised that they did that so easily. My employee brought her almost 4-year-old granddaughter to my shop. The only time she stopped talking was when she was watching the fish tanks. It's amazing to kids.
So that's how you get them to shut up.
Not me.
Our kids will never talk then.
When I was a kid, I would have been, oh, blah, blah, blah. If I saw a fish tank, I'd be like, what's this? What's this? What kind is this? What does it eat? What does it do? I already know. I will own a Thai silk flower horn one day. You know what? I'm not a big flower horn fan, but I am intrigued by the personality. I always enjoy an animal that possesses that much personality. But I can't get down with them all the way, though, for some reason.
I agree, Chelsea. The little cribs looked at me like, what's up, when I netted them out. Mm-hmm.
There's a pelvic acromis really just cuts to the core of you for some reason. Those little faces are just too much. Adore them. One of my favorite types of fish, pelvic acromis, for sure.
Caitlin says, the shrimp I got from you are doing great.
Yay.
That's great, because
That
ours
makes
just literally after I sent you home with those shrimp, our shrimp stopped producing.
Just don't do shit.
Just done. I don't know.
I'm glad that the people that have got them, but
the ones we have are really nice and dark.
Yeah, they're
and
so
beautiful,
pretty. They're not pumping them out like they did before.
So I did
think we
actually
take pencil fish out of there.
No, I moved them all out. I moved them to different tanks, so hopefully they start up again. I did put some pencil fish in with them, which might have, I don't know, made them antsy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Sending my puffers out is like sending fish kids away. Yep, I agree. We love your puffers. We love them dearly. Yeah, but that would be so hard with puffers. It'd be even harder for sure. I can see
Hey,
that.
Jay Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics. We were just not speaking of guppies, but endlers.
Endlers.
You got any endlers? I am looking for endlers,
God,
my
he
friend.
is hot for the endlers. Everybody's.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, what's happening over there?
They're hot for the endlers too.
I guess so.
Hope you're doing well, John. Good to see you.
Oh, sending puffers off. Especially the type of puffers that you've spawned, like the spotted Congos specifically. That's terrifying. I mean, it really is. That's such a difficult fish. Puffers in general.
I am glad that we have some from you,
I
though.
love it. They're just so funny. Man, they eat. I mean, they all do. All the spotted Congo, but like, they just love to eat.
It's weird how a tank move can fire up the shrimp. I sure hope so.
Yeah, let's hope that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are definitely on the lower end of...
Hey, Johnny boy, got any of those endlers? I guess I gotta check out Band. I still have yet to...
Whoa!
Hey, that was my drink you just knocked
Pipe
over.
down there.
I still have not been on Band. I don't even, honestly, I don't even know what it is. When I heard Band, when I saw you post on Facebook about Band, I was like, is he in a band? Like, is he a musician?
That's what I would think. What the hell is that? I don't stay up on that kind
It's
of stuff.
It's kind of like a marketplace, I guess. I don't know.
Is it? Oh. Oh, can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
They're loud as hell.
There he
I know
goes.
that. Oh. Yeah, I didn't. A little nubbin sticking up there.
Little pointy ears.
Yeah. His poor ears.
That were hacked off.
Oh, God, it makes me so angry when I look at his ears. He's darling, but someone just is an idiot for what they did to his poor ears.
It's okay. We still love you, you little runt.
Little earless pipsqueak.
Come here.
He's so, for a Doberman, because I grew up with a Doberman. My grandparents had one. It was one of the dogs in my formative years, and she was like 110 pounds. She was huge. Arlo is not that large, but he makes up for it. And Spunk, don't ya? He never stops.
If I ask you to join my band, I mean something different. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, hey. Okay, boomer. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're going to start to bring the generations into it, huh?
Well, I don't even know what okay boomer means, so whatever.
I transcend generations. I don't belong to anything.
I'll send you a trio of some really cool snakeskin endlers.
I personally love snakeskin. Those are my favorite endlers. So,
I'm very intrigued.
yeah, they're very pretty. I actually had a couple that were mixed in with all the ones that I kept. They're really pretty.
If Indian mudskippers and pea puffers come from the same source, they would either both be brackish or both freshwater. Not necessarily.
Yeah, they can come from slightly different areas or like an estuary or something.
Yeah, are they collected upstream or downstream? Because downstream could be brackish.
It could feed into a pool. Like, you never know. It just, water is crazy. It's crazy. At the same time, though, if I can make palustrous fangi, spotted congos, and send them out, those are basically some of the few or only F1s out there. 100%. Yeah. I would think so. Because I don't know anybody else breeding spotted Congo puffers. Specifically. Since that's all I've kept out of those. But I don't know anybody else who's doing that.
Oof, even old Zenny has banned. What do I know?
We are losers. We know nothing. Snakeskin barbs, pretty good looking.
Snakeskin barbs are very underrated.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty.
What I remember, I ordered some for Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration, and I was like, "Wow, these are actually pretty cool."
I know this is random, but I still really want those J barbs.
That is random.
I know.
That's not very random.
Well, I really want those.
J barbs are nice. I just wish they weren't $5 million.
Of course, I want them because they're ridiculously expensive.
I'm new, but I saw someone talk about rice fish earlier, and it's so exciting to see more people getting into rice fish. They are so amazing.
I've kept them for years.
Oddly enough, our rice fish video has been getting a lot of views lately.
I started keeping rice fish like years ago, and I could not find them anywhere. They were really hard to come across. There was muddled, nasty strain. Like, they just didn't look good yet. And now I'm very pleased to see the quality of the rice fish that we're seeing come out now. It's really nice in the U.S.
There they go again. Now I like watching him in the background.
I didn't even notice.
There he
Do
goes.
I look confused? I feel like I feel
Danny
confused.
Thomas, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says I have a 150-gallon Rubbermaid with paradise fish.
I love paradise fish.
Yep, we were supposed to put ours outside, but we never did. White cloud and platies in Stockton, California. What other fish can I put? I have plants in there too. Well, that's your area. So.
Yeah, that's like an hour from where I'm from. So the thing about it is the hardest part for you is the summertime. I feel like you have less issues in the wintertime with most of those fish. Like white cloud should be fine. Paradise fish should be fine, really. Platies, I'm sure certain types can make it. Really, outside, rice fish. If you want to keep stuff outside in the summer and the winter in California, in Northern California.
There's so many varieties of rice fish now.
You could do rice fish really easily. I'm trying to think of anything else that could withstand the deficit in temperatures, because there's some days where it's 100 degrees and then at night it gets down to like 60, and then, although that's not terrible, it's just quick. It's quick changes that happen there.
And I will say, I know you have white clouds, but gold white clouds look so good in ponds.
Those are nice. You can see them really well.
We have gold white clouds in our turtle tub outside. And surprisingly, he leaves them alone, and they just look really good.
Specifically, if you do rice fish, I would say do the galaxies or the platinums, because you do not miss them. You see them in a tub, you see them so well. Whereas when you get into the darker colors that maybe are pretty, they just you don't see them. Like the blues, you just don't see them as much. But the galaxies are amazing.
Nancy, I love my platinums and wonder how they do so bright.
No, they're like on fire. They look so ridiculous. I love them.
Please do a clip on Wet Spot Medaka. So our rice fish video, all that B-roll is from the Wet Spot, and they get them. They're still coming from the same source, so that should be pretty accurate.
Right.
But we can post some clips. Anything we post up while we're there is probably going to end up on Instagram. So be sure to follow us on Instagram.
I really, really would suggest rice fish to so many people. I used to keep them indoors in tubs. So I'd go
that's
to like
another good option.
what?
Sorry, Regina says, I'm going to leave my trout goodies outside this winter. They did fine.
Oh yeah, trout goodeids.
Yep.
There's another good
We
one,
hopefully have some out in
Goodeids.
our tub.
different types of goodeids, but
And I say
specifically trouts.
hopefully because the tub has been green water the
Can't see a
whole
gosh dang
summer.
thing.
We can see the rice fish because they cruise around
Yeah,
on
the
top.
rice fish stay up top. That's the nice thing is even if you have a big tub, the rice fish are always going to be within the first 4 inches of the water. Like they don't. You could. What I was saying is I kept them indoors. I go to Lowe's. I'd get like a 12 by 12 planter with obviously with no drainage hole in the bottom, and I would keep them in little tubs in my house, and they just putz right around, no problem. Like they don't like deep water really. They like more shallow. Not that you can't keep them in a deeper tank. They'll stay up top. It's nice. What?
It's a little too quiet now.
A little too rough.
Hey,
What kind of shady business is going on over
what
there?
are doing behind the recliner?
He knows he's doing something wrong. Look at him.
Yeah.
For shame.
I don't know what he's got hidden back there, but we're gonna look after the stream, aren't we?
He's trying to butter you up.
No,
Got a
you've been
pearl
caught.
scale goldfish. Little dude is the size of a grape right now. He's going to get a lot bigger. Pearl scales are cool. I like fancy goldfish. I kept ranchus. I really enjoyed them, but the thing is they eat like way too much and they poop way too much, and I was like, I don't need this in my life. And they're just like screensavers. They just boop, boop, boop. That's all they do all day long.
Audra says the Medaka layer here in California
Yeah,
has beautiful
they
rice
do.
fish. I actually just recently joined a Sacramento area rice fish
Hot for the rice fish and stuff.
group. And they have there's a lot of cool things in that group.
I bought some rice fish. They were just mutts, but they were still better than most of the stuff you can get in the store from a breeder in El Dorado County. And I believe it's called El Dorado, what is it? El Dorado Aquatics or something, Gold Country Aquatics. I'd have to look it up and figure it out. But this guy had some of the most insane rice fish I'd ever seen in my life. He bred a bunch of different types of lamés. If you haven't looked up lamé rice fish, do yourself a favor and go check them out. They're insane. They're the craziest looking fish. The color is absolutely ridiculous. So we need to.
So
start doing
here's
stuff like that.
something. Alex says Home Depot has a 21-gallon round tub for $9 right now in store only.
What?
Not to mention the 27-gallon tote is only $10 right now.
That's a good deal.
I'm just gonna get that one for storage.
I was gonna say that's just a good deal for anything you want to do with it, really. Yeah, rice fish. Get rice fish, people. They're awesome. Can't go wrong with rice fish. And they're getting cheaper, which is nice because when I was buying them at first, they were not cheap yet because they just weren't anywhere.
You're not gonna schmooze your way out of this one. Go lay down.
Oh, he's gonna try.
Go lay down.
Oof.
That means to go fight.
Fight. Round 2.
Go lay
I've seen gold lamé popping up. Yeah, gold lamés are beautiful, but there's a lot of different types. There's diamonds too. So, oh my God, there's just, if you go Japan has crazy rice fish, like absolutely insane. They're really cornering the rice fish game. They always have. So they look like little koi. A lot of the rice fish that come from there, like they're so incredibly colored.
Mark 63 says, I wish I could remember the Corys I bought. Longer than normal whiskers, kind of channel cat looking. Those might be the false Cory door. What are they? I'm going to look now. You're going to have to do something because I'm busy.
High mountain tubbing is like June, July. Yeah, I was going to say it drops off way too quick there, High Mountaintop.
Is it the Intimidator catfish? Is that what it
That's
is?
such a cool name. I have black lamé Medaka eggs I'm trying to hatch. Question for you. Where did you get these eggs from? I know they sell them on eBay. Like the gold lamés, black lamés, all the different lamés, they sell the eggs. And I've always wondered if anybody has had actual luck hatching them. You'll have to let us know. I love black rice fish if you get a good group of them.
Someone probably already said it in chat. But
What? I don't see anything.
okay, good. Oh, Fish Fam Link says a baby Steenfott gift wish list. Well, thank you, Fish Fam Link, for linking
That's
that.
very nice. I always feel bad, but yet appreciate when you do that. It's very nice. The orange, platinum, and blacks are fairly priced, but the newer strains, like what Medaka Lair has, yeah, those are always going to be more, for sure. Yeah, I mean, anything that's newer is going to be more, or isn't bred as easily or readily, is always going to be more. I expect that. But even just seeing those 3 different types and the galaxies and whatnot, those come down, I'm happy with that, because it was not the case. You would get crap rice fish for like $12 a piece.
Farmer Feed of Stockton has rainbow shiners. Thank you,
Nice.
Danny, for $2.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you. And
that.
that's also good to know. That's
All right, so the imitator catfish is definitely a longer cord.
Yeah.
See if it'll focus. There you go.
Oh.
This
Yeah.
is,
has a longer body.
focus.
Focus.
Well, you saw it there for a second. That's on Dan's Fish's website. Just search imitator catfish. That might be what you got.
They have eyes. Oh, good. So you can actually see. That's cool. So they've that's good. I'm sending good vibes your way. I hope that works out. You'll keep us posted. I really want to know how that goes, because I've been very curious. Impossible to keep my TDS that low with my pea puffers dropping so many snail shells. Yeah, puffers make a freaking mess. There's always crap in their tank.
A freaking mess.
It's just always crap in their tank no matter what. It's just the way it is. Unless you have a lot of smaller fish to come clean up after them, which we do in
2
ours.
of 4 hairy puffers sharing a cave. If you spawn hairy puffers, I want to be so excited.
Oh my god, that'd be if we could have one of your hairy puffers, we would for sure have one. If that could be the hairy puffer that we have, that would be awesome.
That is the only fish I would ever set up a dedicated tank for. I would give a hairy puffer its own 40 breeder
They're
for its
so
whole life.
Cool. My goodness, they're just.
Unfortunately, the 2 times I kept them, I failed miserably.
That's sad. We would not fail with yours, I promise. There are at least 3 different Amazonas issues that have great photo spreads of Japanese rice fish, aka Medaka. Yeah, totally. I've actually seen. Yeah, they do, which is great. I just feel like that fish, for being around for so long, and so they just don't get enough attention.
A whole talk on Madagascar rainbow fish, huh? That could be interesting.
Regina, yes. Don't you fret. I actually will be sending out stuff to people who have sent things, because I am so appreciative, but there was a lot at once, so I gotta get on that. But yes, no worries.
Audra says hairy puffers are almost as cute as humpback dragons. I prefer a hairy. I've kept
hairies.
both, but humpbacks are cool. Humpbacks are cool. I will give them that.
I have a thing for just regular Congo puffers. I think it's Mirius. I really like those. I think they're really cool. And they can be, the coloration is nice. I know they're brown most of the time, but that red they can get is super cool. Harry Puffer and the Philosopher's Snail. I have a colony of, oh boy.
Neolamprologus multifasciatus.
Can't even
so
read
do we.
that from here.
And I find the babies are growing very slowly. I know they're slow growers, but this seems abnormal. It's taken about 10 months for them to reach an inch. Maybe try different food. We just set up a 33 long for the 8 people that watch that video. They know we set up a 33-gallon long for multis, and
they're from Candy.
It is one of my favorite tanks.
It is a amazing tank. I am obsessed with. Every time I walk in, they just all pop up. All of them pop up. It's so fun. I love them. They're happy little fish. You know how I feel about happy fish.
Well, they're angry towards each other, but
they're happy for
towards
us. For us. They're happy for us.
Well, they probably are.
They're supportive.
Congratulations, Praggers.
Yeah. Ugh. God, ever say that to me?
Praggers?
It's worse than mommy brain.
What did I tell you about yeppers?
What did I tell you about yeppers?
Aquarium Co-op actually makes an excellent point. Need more foods that float into the shells. Fry will only eat what gets into the shells. That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, that is a true statement. I try and get bug bites to drop down straight in to where they are in the shells, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So.
You just need that new Co-op fry food that just lives in suspended animation.
Where can we get that?
I don't think it's available yet.
No.
It's
never mind. I'm not saying.
Still,
never mind.
Still in don't
listen to me. I don't know anything.
Behind the scenes. It's the new and improved.
That new. I've recorded the Harry Puffer courtship a few times over the years. My first Harry Puffer colony hooked me on puffer breeding years. Yeah, that's super cool. Any puffer breeding for you is Super cool.
My pair of humpbacks are in love, and it is so sweet. My male adores the female. Red and Russet are their names. Little potatoes.
That is fantastic. I really enjoy that. Good on you.
I target feed them with a turkey baster. I've always been the person that just throws in a whole handful of food and then does more than necessary water changes, although it becomes very necessary when you feed that much.
I've always been a heavy feeder in general, but I've never had it be an issue for me because I keep fish at so many levels that I need to make sure everybody's being fed. So,
and honestly, in my previous multi-colonies, there's always so many different spawns and so many different generations that I wouldn't even know how long it took them to grow out because there's just so many.
Because they are constantly it's like a rotating door of fish.
I was in there watching them the other day, and there was a male and female going in and out of a shell. Nice. So hopefully we'll have our first spawn.
Yeah, we haven't had them all that long, and they've only been set up in this tank for a little while. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had to live in a 10-gallon for a couple months, and that was way too small for how many we had.
It didn't seem like they cared too much, though. As long as they were eating, they were happy.
And Mountaintop Puffer Keeper. That is very cool. Very noble projects.
I'm impressed every time. I just can't believe you can spawn any type of puffer. And I don't want to say it's easy, but you make it look not difficult. Like, you're the type of person that would make me think I could do it, and I can't.
Yeah, you jerk.
I know. Jesus. Once you'd be not as good at breeding puffer fish. Yeah, I had a wild hair at one point that I wanted to breed spotted Congos, and I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I moved. I had to get rid of mine. It was sad. You could say I like it. Well, challenge accepted and challenge accomplished. Like, good job.
Davo says I had 4 pairs of African butterfly barbs, and the dominant male killed the other 3 males.
Rough. That's unfortunate.
I would not see that coming either.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sen says, Cheryl, they're a favorite of mine, and Hillstream babies are so flippin' cute.
They're real cute. I agree with that. Certain baby fish, like I still think Pelvicochromis babies may be the cutest baby fish ever because they're like little hot dogs with bug eyes. So cute. Darling.
Thick, I would ask.
Ew.
Did we get a fly in here?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Braxton, get this fly.
He doesn't kill them. He just plays with them.
He like bopped one the other day. Like, remember that?
He actually bopped a fly out of the air, injured the fly, and it was buzzing around. And then he just kept like picking it up and throwing it with his nose,
pushing it around,
flinging it around,
doing this with his paw. Like he was like.
He had so much fun with that.
He was really enjoying it.
But now I forgot what I was gonna say about his shellies.
Sorry. A little distracted.
Dang it! It'll come back to me.
Maybe.
That's
always a thing, Cheryl. Whenever you have an open tank, the stuff you want, does it ever line up? No. You have to start a new tank, or it's ridiculous. Murphy's Law. It's always the way it goes. That's why I always just had an abundance of tanks.
I still can't get over her puffers being named Red and Russet.
That's perfect.
Where's the Yukon Gold?
I was gonna say, yeah, you could get a few more in there. Spud, you could have had Spud.
Yukon Gold they're the best ones.
Yeah, I love a Yukon Gold. It's my fave.
He's liking the 4 females on his own.
I bet he is.
Well, maybe you'll get some eggs.
Next Petco sale, I'm getting a 60B and setting it up as a stream. That's a good size for a stream tank. I like that a lot. I still can't believe there's 60 breeders. We never had 60 breeders in Sacramento, ever. I never saw them at any Petco.
If I'm ever fortunate enough to build another fish room, I hope to include 60 breeders.
Yeah, they are a great tank. That's a great size.
And I used to tell people, if you're going to get a 60, just get a 75. It's the same footprint. But I have since changed my mind on that.
There's a lot of advantages to having that shorter height. My other half laughs at me for going around all the tanks pulling algae-covered rocks for the Hillstream tank. Hey,
that's smart.
That's a good thing to do. That's just shopping in your own fish tanks, and that's a good way to do things. Whoa.
Sorry.
That was aggressive.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
My cat tends to prefer to chase bugs at night. He doesn't seem to care as much when I'm not trying. Well, yeah, it's the catting hour. It's the cat time is that time of night and morning. They like to do all kinds of stuff that late. Mine used to run around the house like a mad cat. He makes so much noise in the middle of the night.
Alex says, love my 60 breeder.
Yeah, they're great. I did have a spud. It was their baby. Oh no. They have bred many times and I only got one fry to survive. Oh no, Spud. R.A.P. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. I even said anything.
Spud McKenzie.
Spud. Poor Spud. Those are such good names though. Like those are just great. I'm trying to think of like what other types of potatoes are there. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
There's those baby. What are the miniature ones?
They're just baby potatoes.
Just baby potatoes.
Fingerlings.
That's
like,
boring.
Yeah, sure is.
Mm.
Sure is boring. Baking potatoes. My POW ABI is mash. Jesus. God, still no ABIs that we've been able to find. Like, nowhere. We've been keeping our eye out for those, Mountaintop. Nothing. No ABIs. It's ridiculous.
Although, talking to the West Spot today, they
so
they did say
puffers.
they have 2 puffers that aren't on the list yet.
Oh.
So maybe they have them. I don't know.
Could be. Could be our lucky week.
I'm hoping one of the ones that are spotted Congo puffers.
That would be.
Because then we can make a whole
ideal.
video about puffers.
I will never stop singing the praises of spotted Congo puffers from the mountaintops. Like they're just the best.
They specifically have to come from Mountaintop?
They must come from mountaintop. You better start producing.
See
these
what I
things
did there?
in mass quantity.
Get it?
No.
Oh. Because you said you were going to yell from the mountaintop, but his name is Mountaintop?
Already. I'm just done.
Now do you get it?
I'm just... The divorce lawyer is on retainer.
False. There's a reason I put his cat wheel in a different room. He uses it a lot more at night. That's funny.
Yeah, they know. They're like, oh, you're sleeping? I'm going to knock this vase over. Here we go. I'm going to puke on the one non-wood area. The one rug you have, I'm going to puke right there in the middle of the night.
That's interesting. Mountaintop says those ABI are ridiculously aggressive, but we kept them all together, and it was
so weird. Like,
every once in a while there'd be some huffing and puffing, but
they've
not literally puffing up. Just
no, they never puff.
But otherwise, I mean, they did fine together.
I've actually never had any of my puffer fish ever puff up ever. It's never one time happened.
But they were small, so
they were small. That's true. They're probably a lot. Yeah.
Fish don't tend to be as aggressive when they're adults.
I could definitely see. Avocado puffers are fun and derpy. I have one named Globo, thanks to one of Corey's trips. Globo. Avocado puffers are cool.
Globo
puffers
Gym?
Puffers are just cool.
Is that it? Globo Gym?
I think that's what it is.
There's Globodine, but I don't remember where that's from.
Isn't that from Fun with Dick and Jane?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love that movie. This could feed a family of 4.
Didn't Dan have issues? I don't think Dan's ever had ABI. He was talking about the red-eye red tail,
which baffles my mind because I've
we
always
only
kept
keep those
groups
together
of those and that never had an issue. We had that conversation when we went. I remember.
Yeah, because we were like, "Why are your puffers all in a tank by themselves?"
Yeah, and he's like, "I can't get them to not kill each other." And I was like, "Man, I've always
so
kept
bizarre,
these."
yeah.
And then he was like, "Wow, weird." But I guess everybody has different experiences, right? Especially with puffers, it can really run the gambit there. My ABI is a beautiful B word.
My ABI is a beautiful bastard. He will just bite the tails off the other fish and just leave them to die.
Rude. That sounds like an ABI, though. Like,
Johnny Lurkin says they sent us males.
Oh, of the red-eye red tails? All males? I kept all males together. That's the thing is, and I think Dan and I talked about that. I had 5 or 6 males together at one time.
To be fair, like probably keeping them in a tank with no hardscape might be a little different when there's like line of sight breaks and stuff.
I did have.
Maybe,
they were in a planted tank, so it very well could have been because they weren't in each other's face all the time. And we have female, like the one we have now, because we had more, but I think I had mine for a while. But the females are very chill. Like they don't seem to care about anything. And I think they're prettier. I like them more than the males.
The ABI actually fight over. I do remember them like
fighting over food.
If they would go after the same snail, there'd be some problems. But
I worried a couple times because there was a couple incidents where they really bit, and I never saw a mark. I never saw any damage, but they would really get pissed off, like very pissed off. I tried to throw the snails in different areas so that they wouldn't just all go for the same one. If you filled escargot shells with rapashi and kept it in the freezer, would it work for large puffer?
So my Mabu puffer would just eat rapashi.
I was going to say you could just try rapashi.
Now, if you're putting them in snails for their teeth, sure. But mine would I could put in like a golf ball size of rapashi.
And just eat it?
And it would make a mess because it would still chomp it in half. But it still ate it.
Interesting. All my Harrys have been besties, all show no go on the arguments. That's nice.
That's, you know what? I kind of want to try a colony of hairy puffers now.
I know, it's very intriguing, honestly. It's very intriguing.
I'd be curious to know how many you have in what size tank.
Yeah. I want to know that too. I was thinking that. But I mean, God, communal puffers. Yay. It's the best. Nothing more
And I would
satisfying.
still love to see Mabu puffers kept together. Because I think it can be done.
I was going to say, has it ever been done?
No, because the internet just tells you it can't be done. Granted, you
Yeah.
would need a gigantic pond.
The internet says a lot of things, so just double check they're okay together. They're technically Claritin.
For the most part, the internet doesn't even know there's freshwater puffers. Like, I still get comments
Idiots.
all the time.
Idiot internet.
I have one puffer video that's gotten like 600,000 views, and I still get comments. There's no freshwater puffers. I'm like, you just saw the video, and you're still gonna argue that there's no freshwater
False.
puffers?
I won't have arguments with people like that.
It's so. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
respond.
I know, but I'm just saying, I do not argue with that type of stupid.
Sometimes
But
if I'm
that's
feeling a little rowdy, I'll respond
fine.
and
one-off.
then ban them so they can't
Yeah,
respond.
he does do that. That is true. I can vouch for that. Whatever. They don't deserve to respond to that. So bye, and good day.
And Danikin's been lurking too. Apparently, says have to head out later on.
Peace. I've done 4 in a 40 breeder, 3 in a 40 breeder, 4 in a 60 breeder on here. Interesting. So that's not even bad right there.
No, I could do 4 and a 60
Shoot,
breeder.
like I'd try 3. Even if I can only have 3, I still like that's cool. That's a good. All right, something to. We're gonna have more 40 breeders free. Ish. Oh no, you're moving the Corys into that one, aren't you?
Yep.
Dang, I keep
I'm
forgetting
setting
about
up
that.
breeding tanks. Deal with it.
I just want everything to be a community tank. That's just where my head goes. I love a community tank.
Time to start breeding fish for profit.
Yeah,
Profit.
yeah, I was gonna say. Air quotes for sure.
Also did 3 Harrys and a 50.
Oh, okay. So like, interesting. Okay. Somehow I'm getting reels with salty twerps catching puffers and showing them off of. Ugh.
Of course, that's
Ugh.
something the Florida idiots would do.
I don't know, and I'm not in any way I never defend people like that, but I almost feel like some of those people are so stupid and ignorant that they don't realize how stressful that is for the puffer fish. Like, they don't realize that you can kill them that way. Like, that's just, then there are those that know very well and they do it anyways, but I feel like so many people are ignorant to that.
Kenny says, the internet says Fahaka has to be kept alone. That's false, but I've seen plenty kept with large cichlids. Yeah, so there was the breeders I always talk about that were local to me that are no longer here. Their one like show tank was a Fahaka, and they just had random cichlids in there that they no longer had groups for or no longer spawning. They were retired, and they all went in that tank, and they did just fine. They never
I've
lost
seen
a single
Fahakas
one.
with eels too, and like rope fish and stuff. Like, I've seen Fahakas with multiple other fish.
The only thing I'll never do again is Corys, because
Whoops.
an accidental chomping.
Yeah, it's so sad. That's so sad. Any Aussies in the chat? Buy from.
All fish to you.
That's where I work now. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Sweet. Are there any other Aussies here? I want to know that. Period. Like, are you not the only one, Sid?
Zane says, I'm going to get out of guppies and into Corys for breeding. Nobody wants to buy guppies. Think the market is flooded. It might be a little saturated.
a
I'm
little
not
bit.
sure. I know they always sell well here in the Pacific Northwest.
The nanofish sell here, right?
And shrimp, yeah.
Shrimp should sell everywhere because they're great.
Let's see. Jenna says, maybe Steven should put blue light over his puffer tank just to make it look salty and perpetuate the stereotype of no fresh puffers.
That's funny. That's what I hate about
You
saltwater.
can even put
is that
like
blue.
live rock in it.
Oh God. Perpetuating stereotypes one day at a time. I almost got a baby Fahaka a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't sure where it would go when it got bigger. Maybe the predatory pond once it's finished. I almost feel like, depending on what you have in there, it might be a little too chill for a predator. I mean, I don't know what that entails, but I don't even think Fahakas are that, salty. It depends on the individual fish, but con-specific aggressive, that makes sense, yeah.
My male cross rivers were trying to fight to the end.
Oh, no.
Oof.
That's too expensive of a fish to have fight till the end. There's no end. You guys don't get to have an end.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Chill out.
There are only beginnings.
for those, yeah. For $800 a piece puffers. Yeah. I mean, I know you can get them cheaper than that, but still, they're predominantly that expensive, depending on size. They're so cool, though. So pretty.
I have a $250 credit to an LFS. It's so far away, though,
Woo.
so I never find the time to drive up there, so it's not an LFS.
You go get that 200. I would see. I always wonder how people can do that.
You go get it, girl.
I would never say that. I just want to be very clear. I just want to make that. I want to really drive that home. That I would never say that. So.
Really? I thought I've heard you say it all the time.
The only time I have ever said that is ironically the only person I say that to, and it's on is the Tegu. I'm like, hey girl. I always say that to her. I don't know why, but she's the only one. She's the only one who gets that treatment. Fahaka are captive bred in Indonesia.
Fajakas are so cheap. Like,
yeah, they are. God, it's not good how cheap they are. They need to be
like
more expensive.
$3 on the wholesale list. It's
really
crazy.
Because they're just easy to get, I think. So, but they should.
I have an empty tank. It's completely overtaken by brown algae. What do I do? Drain it, scrub it, fill it back up.
Wipe it. Oh yeah, literally wipe it. Yep. And if you have any hardscape in there that had that on there too, take that out. But I don't know. Did you say it's completely empty? Oh, empty tank. So no, nothing completely. Okay. Yeah. You just start over.
Go buy fish, girl.
Jesus Christ. I love that it's the GURL too. That really made it extra. Nancy, thanks for that.
You're so extra, girl.
I want to die right now.
And on that note, I'm going to go eat dinner. So thanks, everyone. Well, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I want a pizza.
Of course. Well, get to work. Build it from scratch.
I'm already working on building things from scratch right now. I don't need multiple projects going at once.
Well, thanks, everyone, for coming out. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I know we did. Click all those affiliate links. It helps us out. You get to save a little bit of money.
Go buy fish, girl.
This is the thing now. I started it. That's the problem.
You reap what you sow.
For real, fam. No cap. Oh, I don't get the no cap thing. Like,
I hate that.
That's how I know like we're cooked, because people actually say. The first time I heard cap, cooked. I was like, cap? What does that mean?
Hey, capping.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, real quick, Cheryl, my predatory fisher, biter, clownfish, knife fish, Oscars. Okay, that's not too crazy. Never mind. All right. One of the Oscars is aggressive. That could be bad. My peaceful Severum. Severums are easy. They don't bother anything. Anyways, go buy fish, girl.
Anyways.
Bye.
Did you just call them all girls?
Yep.
There's only like 4 girls in the chat.
Ain't that the truth?
Where am I at here? Oh, here I am.
I have no idea what's
all
going
right.
on.
It's amateur hour.
What is this, amateur hour?
Have a good week. Don't forget, we'll be at the wet spot all weekend. If there's something specific you want to see, let us know in the comments after this uploads, and we'll try to get something uploaded on Instagram. So follow us there. What else? Go to the SteenfottAquatics.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's pretty cool, I promise you. So check that out.
Lots of blue fish this week.
Yeah. Blue Tetras. Even though you already missed it. But sign up for next week. You never know what you're going to get.
Can they not still get it?
And what else can I plug?
Plug.
My hair? I don't know.
Shh, bye.